Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for Havoc.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
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 Don't make me destroy you.
So yes, Havoc, starring Tom Hardy and directed by Gareth Evans, who brought us the Raid movies, those absolutely bonkers, insane martial arts movies set in Indonesia. And this film follows Tom Hardy. He's a grizzled, bruised detective who is literally fighting his way through a corrupt city. And as is rather tropey in a lot of action movies recently, over the last 10-15 years I'd say, a drug deal has gone wrong and he finds himself surrounded by a number of different factions who are all out to try and get one person, and he is tasked to save that person and bring them to safety. And it all goes wrong from there, as is atypical in movies of this nature. Now, you're coming to watch Havoc for one reason and one reason only, aren't you? You're coming to see the absolute carnage unfold. If you know who the director is, you know what you're going to be in for in terms of that. If you've seen the Raid movies, if you've seen Merantau, which was one of his early films that was starring Iko Uwais, who was the lead character in the Raid movies, you know exactly what you're going to be in for with this. And to a large degree, you get what you're asking for. You get what you're paying your ticket for, in this case your Netflix subscription, if you're that way inclined. And I don't know what more else there is to say. Suffice to say, though, the action is as bombastic, as ridiculous as you could possibly imagine. The way that it shifts from the lackluster story beats, which I'll get into very shortly, into the absolute insanity, bullet-ridden mayhem that comes at the end is something to be admired, really. The problem is, as I've alluded to there, is everything else about this movie away from the action is absolutely dreadful. It's pure dribble. It's taken from every other action movie, like I said, over the last decade and a half. There is nothing unique about the story beats. The only thing really going for it in those moments where there isn't any action is Tom Hardy. And I'll give credit to him here. It could be his likable charisma on screen. It could be just that he is actually a really good guy. But you can't help but enjoy every single second that he's on screen. Yes, he seems to be drawing a lot from Eddie Brock in Venom, that character he played, but here it works. It absolutely works, and when he gets stuck into the action, you cannot help but have this smile overwhelm you as you're witnessing him actually decimating people en masse. And again, we've seen that in the Raid movies, this superhuman ability that the lead characters seem to have, and even Mad Dog in the first Raid movie, this superhuman ability to absolutely get through every single person on screen. John Wick does it. It happens here as well. And there are a lot of cues from other movies, from other franchises in this movie. It's almost like Gareth Evans' sort of flavour has been enhanced by John Woo, enhanced by John Wick as well. The gunplay is extraordinary. And there's a lot of balletic diving and flying through windows and drop kicks and all sorts in this film. The problem is, like I said, is that for large portions where there isn't anything going on in terms of action, this movie is almost a walkout one. It's almost at a point where you can't help but drift off. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. It's a movie of two different hearts, and neither of them really work well together at all. And like I said, the action is superb, but we only have really two major action set pieces. There's a set piece in a nightclub which just exponentially grows and grows in absolute chaos, and then there's the ending sort of main battle scene at a woodcutter's lodge, it looks like, and there again, there's just this exponential growth in carnage and chaos that just unfurls almost immediately. There is a car chase right at the start of the movie that I absolutely hated. It's completely CGI. It looks like a shit video game, if I'm going to be really honest with you. It looked fucking terrible. And immediately that made me concerned. And for the rest of the movie, I couldn't help but notice the fucking terrible CGI throughout this film. Every time we cut to a transition shot of a cityscape of a load of cars driving, you can tell it's rendered by some really fucking shit engine.
Blind, stupid, simple, doodah, clueless.
What? I don't know why this was the case. There's a fantastic car chase in the Raid 2, all done using expertly crafted practical effects. Yeah, there are some shifts and use of CGI in that, but for the vast majority of the car chase in that movie, it's all practical effects. In this, the opening sequence of the car chase, again, just gives you that air of, oh god, is this what the rest of the film's going to be like? And that's not a good footing to be setting off from at all. Again, it's a massive shame. The rest of the cityscape shots scream at you that they're using screens and digital effects and enhancements, and it does not work at all. And unfortunately, you can see for a lot of the rest of the movie CGI, blood, particle effects. It absolutely takes you out of what is, like I said, moments of pure bliss and joy. The adrenaline kicking action that just comes out of nowhere. It springs out of nowhere like a trap and blows up the screen. That's what you want to see, but you can't help but feel the rest of the movie undermines the action, completely undermines it. You know, we have a load of characters that come into this film. They're given very little time to do anything to develop. They come, they go in spectacular fashion. We do have Timothy Oliphant in there, who's a fucking great actor. I love him, and you know the bits that we've seen him. I loved him in Deadwood, and here he just, I don't know, he bites his teeth in that way that he does. He, you know, ushers out those words and phrases, you know, in that typical, you know, teeth jarred together kind of motion effect, and nothing really comes of it. It's a bit of a shame. It's almost like they set out a number of things that they want to do, and then, oh, well, we've run out of time. We need to blow things up. It's almost as if the film doesn't know what it really wants to do. The Raid 2 had this deep, you know, story of corruption again, of gangs, warring factions, but it gave those characters time to breathe. I mean, it's a 2.5-hour movie, The Raid 2, for Christ's sake, but it gave, you know, time for this criminal sort of enterprise to unfurl in the film, and then we're given that reward for our patience with the absolutely chaotic action that follows throughout that entire movie. Here, it's just, oh, we're talking, none of it's really fucking mattering, none of it makes any sense really, because we're jumping from one thing to another, and then, who cares, we're blowing stuff up now. I know action movies don't require, you know, an in-depth Shakespearean story, but it's still a movie at the end of the day. There has to be some meat on the bone somewhere for you to latch onto, and Tom Hardy himself, and the way his performance barely manages to keep that together. But there you go. It is literally spectacle over substance. In some parts for the right reasons, in other parts a completely misunderstanding, you know, in terms of what it's trying to say. Fundamentally, it is an exercise in excess in the most varying ways, if you like. And it's okay. I don't think it's going to ring anyone's bell going forward in the future. I'd be very surprised if we saw a sequel at any point, but who knows at this point? It is Netflix after all.
Cause let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel. Ah! Ah!
And on that balance of probabilities, I think this movie is better than some of the other Netflix movies we've been treated to quite recently, but it's not a high bar in the least. So, there you go. Havoc. It is as it is on the tin. It's exactly what the name tells you it's going to be. But like I said, that encompasses both the action and the fucking lackluster storytelling. But there you go. There's my review for Havoc. If If you enjoyed this review, please do give the review a like. Subscribe to the channel as well. We do have flits and farts of subscribers coming in every now and again. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed thus far. I appreciate everyone that reaches out and has the chat. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Havoc in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy this movie? Were you expecting more? Were you expecting less? I'm not really quite sure what I was expecting. I just knew it was Gareth Evans, and I knew we would get some glorious action at some point. Did it need something else? I think probably so. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.